The corporate conscience. Supposedly, no corporation has any kind of conscience whatsoever. Corporations care about nothing but money. That's what I hear quite a bit. It isn't true, though, and it's important that people know it's not true. Y'all remember this, of course.
It's been going on far too long.
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
To act the right way.
Bro, not cool, not cool.
Some already are. In ways big and small.
So, Gillette. That story is over. Another woke advertising campaign has failed. Gillette has lost $8 billion. So as it turns out, that toxic masculinity advertisement, it did not save the company. People did not rush out and spend their money on Gillette products. In fact, it almost seems like this ad campaign might have hurt the company. Gillette was no doubt surprised, but surprised or not, they were hardly apologetic. The CEO of Gillette has said that the $8 billion loss is a price worth paying over the Me Too campaign. It was worth the price? It was worth $8 billion to run that little film. Now, some people are quick to point out that Gillette was losing money already. And maybe so, but major advertising campaigns are supposed to slow that decline at the very least. And ideally, they are supposed to reverse it. Instead, their profits are down $8 billion. And it was worth the price? What a strange thing to say. And here I thought that corporations were only concerned with money. I hear that a lot. I certainly hear people say that about social justice campaigns from corporations. They don't really care about that stuff. They only do it to capture a market. They do it because they think it will make them money. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that an advertising genius would come up with. Now, I've never believed that for a moment. Rule number 1 for advertising: avoid controversy. Unless your product or service is a controversial thing, you avoid controversy. Or maybe you intend to sell to a very specific demographic, and then you know what kind of ideas you can throw out there. But if you're selling to the general public, you avoid controversy. Now, that doesn't mean that a business cannot use social issues to advertise, because back in my day, serious issues could make great advertising campaigns. But back then, controversy wasn't a part of it. A crusade against drunk driving might involve current events and serious issues, but there is no counter-movement. Me Too is different. People disagree with the vitriol of Me Too, with the methods, and a lot of people see hypocrisy and even sexism within the Me Too movement. Now, you might not agree with that, but whether or not you agree with the criticism of that movement, that criticism does exist, and it is heavy. Gillette's CEO doesn't see it that way. Gillette CEO Gary Coombs said he does not regret his company's controversial marketing campaign targeted at the Me Too movement, even though the company has taken an $8 billion hit. Coombs admitted that the Me Too ad the company put out in January was a ploy to capture market share amongst millennials, a space in which they were losing market share to Harry's and Dollar Shave Club. Well, could it be that money was the motivating factor? Now, that would mean that Gillette's executives and Gillette's advertisers are all just irretrievably stupid. But it is possible. It was pretty stark. We were losing share. We were losing awareness and penetration. And something had to be done. I don't enjoy that some people were offended by the film and upset at the brand as a consequence. That's not nice. And it goes against every ounce of training I've had in this industry over a third of a century. But I am absolutely of the view now that for the majority of people to fall more deeply in love with today's brands, you have to risk upsetting a small minority. And that's what we've done. That isn't what they've done. They did not offend a small minority. They offended a very, very large minority at best, or at worst. They offended the majority. And considering the campaign's results, he knows it. So, why is he saying this? P&G spokeswoman Julia Lafelt claimed that the company's Me Too digital ad had actually enhanced the brand. Haha, yeah, enhanced it straight into the toilet. This is by far the most viewed ad Gillette has ever had online. The vast majority of those views are organic, unpaid, which points to the natural interest and engagement that we were able to generate amongst consumers.
That don't make no sense.
So, this is the story in a nutshell. Gillette releases an advertising campaign that they know will be highly controversial. That campaign fails. Big time. People were eager to express their displeasure. Gillette's CEO says it was worth it. He and a spokesman for the company claim it was effective, a thing they know to be untrue. There is only one part of these statements that makes any sense at all. It was a price worth paying. Now, if Gillette is after money, and only money, then this public statement makes no sense. They could have said that they would have done it differently, and that would not have been rejecting their message, by the way. They could have said something about Gillette being for everyone, and they're sorry they offended their customers. Failing that, they could have said nothing at all. Instead, knowing the reaction to the ad, fully aware of the financial hit they took, and fully aware that they might be offering further offense, they said it was worth the price. People should learn something from this. Corporations only care about money. That isn't true. The reality is that corporations don't care about anything, not even money. That's because corporations are not living things that can care. Corporations are financial constructs, nothing more. But corporations are run by human beings, and human beings are capable of any motive at all. Some people who run corporations are concerned primarily with profit. Some may even be motivated entirely by profit, but not all of them. The CEO of Gillette cares so much about his social conscience that for his holy cause, he will risk a tremendous hit to his business. He won't even regret his actions after his ad fails. Instead, he will tell the public that he doesn't care that they aren't buying. He'll tell them that he doesn't care that they were not pleased. The people who run corporations cannot be counted on to be so greedy that it will protect us. Look at Google, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. All of the censorship, and everyone knows about it. And that's not good for their business. Now, those businesses, they make money regardless. A lot of it. But if money were their only motive, then they would want to make as much money as possible. Stifling content and preventing conversation decreases interest in their products. It fosters competition. It reduces the dramatic tensions that drive their platforms. Now, why would they do that? Not for money. It's because they serve other motives as well, and they will use sinister means to serve those motives. Strangely enough, people know all that, and they say it. And then they also say that corporations only care about money. Do not ever be taken in by that. A lot of these companies are run by people who really do serve their causes, and we cannot afford the comfort of believing otherwise. Are you still watching this on YouTube?
Our censors find your opinions a little too colorful.
What the hell are you still watching on YouTube for? Opinions are being suppressed. Content is being self-censored. Channels are being deleted. YouTube sucks. All the cool kids watch their videos over on BitChute. When I get on my computer and tune into my favorite social renegades, I usually check their channels on BitChute first. After I've watched there, then I switch over to YouTube to catch the rest. And that's what I want you to do with my stuff. And ideally, with everyone you can.